But figures released today by Public Health England show that in some areas of the region, the number of cases is actually rising, and that's giving some concern to local health officials. Well, our reporter Steve Saul is live in the newsroom now to make sense of these figures, Steve.
Yes, Annabelle, Public Health England's now releasing weekly updates about the rate of infection across our region. Today's numbers show increases in Cumbria, Cheshire West, Pendle, Blackburn and Bury. Now let's take Pendle as an example. That's an area with the highest infection rate in the northwest. Now remember, all of this data is measured by the number of cases per 100,000. And in Pendle, there's 47 cases per 100,000 people. Now, Professor John Ashton's the former Director of Public Health in the North West. He says getting the data right is key.
The small numbers mean that you can get fluctuations in small numbers. And from a statistical point of view, that may not be meaningful. We need to be testing much more extensively and testing the right people. And then we could place more credence on those results.
So how does this compare to other places in the country?
Well, you'll know, Annabelle, that Leicester's currently the worst place in the UK and forced back into lockdown when cases there peaked at 149 per 100,000. That's now at 122 cases per 100,000, still nearly triple that in Pendle. Meanwhile, the Director of Public Health in Lancashire says there's a growing trend around small terraced houses.
The risk of infection is higher or going up in certain communities, and one of the possible explanation is terrace houses with multi-generational household members with the risk of catching from each other. And that is something that we really need to watch for and remind ourselves that the pandemic is still here and we need to be extra careful as the lockdown lifts.
And Annabelle, it's also important to note the ages of people getting infected in the northwest is falling, with some evidence of younger people struggling to maintain social distancing. And in fact, a warning today from Liverpool City Council about a rise in cases in young people aged 15 to 34. Now, as we just came on the air, I've got some breaking news that Blackburn with Darwen Council said they're getting concerned about rising numbers there, and they're saying the town could be at risk of a local lockdown like Leicester unless people adhere to the guidelines. They're setting up a temporary testing facility at Witton Park Academy. Anyone who thinks they've got the virus should go there for a test.
Yeah, we really want to avoid that happening if we can. Now, what is the situation in our hospitals today?
Well, today the latest figures from NHS England show that a further 8 people died after recording a positive test for coronavirus in northwest hospitals. Now, put that into context, 6 to 8 weeks ago, that figure was in the hundreds. The total number of deaths in our region today now stands at 4,778.
Steve, thanks very much indeed. Now, more